So I think mostly when we plan our dates, we focus too much on what to wear and where to go, and where should be our first date, what will we eat and stuff like that. But now, because we are starting out in a phase where we're going to start with virtual dates or just conversations, all that superficiality is kind of stripped off, and that leaves you with just conversation, and there's no background noise or there's no distraction. So that kind of helps you explore the true values of a relationship. What is it that you really need and are looking for in a relationship? So is it the need to belong, to find a companion, the need to be cared for, and what are your essential values that you would want to be the fundamentals of your relationship, which a lot of people find out much later, once they are tired of partying and once they're tired of meeting and having lunch dates and movie dates. The real conversation never happens. It kind of happens very late for a lot of people. And it is then that they realize that their true core values don't match. So I think right now, since all of the distractions are not there, they're directly jumping to what matters the most. And I think I'm hearing that that is kind of helping them, develop, and like you form the true basis of your relationship. That's kind of that's a healthy start for a lot of people. And also because people are starting at a low phase in their life, right? This is a very low phase for everybody, and when you start to connect during a low phase, you are there to provide support, and you are there to kind of care for each other, and that strengthens the bond even more because you're there at the lowest point for each other. So that's another thing which I think is new for people, and they're understanding the importance of support and respect for each other, which is kind of, as I said, it comes up much later. When you realize, when certain situations come up later in relationships, they realize that okay, this aspect hasn't been explored yet. So now we are starting out with that aspect, I think.
Renuka?
Yeah, I think she did such a great job at, you know, explaining that out. There's not a lot I can add to it. Yeah, and I also definitely agree with the fact that we have started looking at relationships differently, assessing our priorities, and we've started putting in more effort to preserve those relationships now that it cannot happen organically.
Yeah, I think there's also a lot of emphasis on conversation now because we want people who are good conversationalists. Suddenly, we want to have deep, meaningful conversations, which we never focused on. Like a lot of people did, a lot of people kind of did not, and now we realize that for people, for example, who are living in the same house and living in, for them also they're spending so much time together that they want to have conversations, or they want to divide the chores in a way that there's equal distribution, and all those aspects and all those values are coming up, wherein you kind of understand whether your partner respects equality or not, or whether your partner understands the need for conversation or not, and how these dynamics work. So all of this is becoming much more prominent for a lot of people to explore and kind of judge your partner, I think, based on these aspects, and explore different aspects of your partner, I would say.
Yeah, as people say, it's when the going gets tough that the tough get going. And this is really like that time where the foundation of your relationship is being tested. I was reading an article that spoke about how now people are looking for different things in their partner. They're asking very different questions. It's less about the monetary or the asset base, like, oh, what car you have, what job you have, what this you have, because all these things are now being stripped away, and it's really just about like, can you do the dishes like 3 times in a row, or can you let me pick what I want to watch, or are you able to really care about things. I mean, a lot of questions that may have been coming up much like way later in a relationship are really being addressed now, like you said. Definitely. So that really, and in terms of the positive aspect, I think just in general, when we get out and we start moving out and like really meeting our friends, meeting people that we might meet in the future as well, it will be very telling as to how we dealt with the lockdown. Because these are the conversations we're going to have for like the rest of the year or two, even. Like, what did you do? How did you cope? And I really think that this time um, is an interesting litmus test as to how we want to spend our time, how we make the best out of a situation. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Like no, there shouldn't be so much pressure on like having like a major success story, but just being able to like make it through and like
Yeah.
getting out of this lockdown like reasonably sane.